know what you
Speaking
want.
speaking of submission, I have a video I want to show you guys. This is a video I took of my we're broken up ex-girlfriend. This is my expectation in a relationship. Go ahead and play it. All right. So, boom. She's got to bow.
Okay.
She's got to bow.
She picked something up too, right?
Oh, I threw my slippers off.
Okay.
And I got, it was a long podcast. I get home. She's got my food ready. She's got my food ready. She gets me the beer.
As she should.
This is my expectation. I had to scold her. Those tomatoes are disgusting. I don't know why she did that. And then get ready to play it again. Play it again, just the beginning part. Pause it. You see the bow. You see how deep the bow is? Do you see the...
I have a question. Would a curtsy work for you?
No, I mean...
A bow's kind of masculine.
If you want to...
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
if you want to curtsy, I'll accept it. But going around the table, would you bow for your boyfriend?
I would
That's
curtsy.
hilarious.
You would... No, but he says, I want you to bow.
Yes, I would.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, we'll come back to that. What about you?
I'd have to ask why, because that's not a Western European culture thing. But I'd probably curtsy as a former ballerina.
Also,
Okay.
I will ask for why, the reason.
Wait, you'll ask for why?
Yeah, for what?
For what? Do they, here, we'll do they bow? Is there bowing in China?
No, definitely not.
No bow.
Korea. It's Korea. They definitely
and
bow
Japan?
to older generations.
But in China, they don't bow.
No, not at
There's
all.
no bow. No bowing.
No bowing. No.
Not in China.
No.
What about in like certain parts of China?
No, definitely not. Maybe in Asian they will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But not now.
Like
bow.
just bow to him just to show respect.
Yeah. Like, okay, here's...
I don't see what's. I mean,
He gets...
okay.
Yes? You
I
do
mean,
it?
yeah. Like if that makes him feel good, like why
Okay.
not?
What about you? No?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it?
No, I won't.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, all right. What about you?
I'm gonna flip it and say let's bow to God together instead.
Yeah.
That feels
And
better.
I'm going to say no. So would you bow, though, or no?
What if he bows to God and you're behind him and you bow?
That makes more sense. Yeah. But like, I don't know, that was uncomfortable.
I think it's funny. Like my husband and I joke all the time.
No,
If he
yeah, it
asks
would
me
be a
to
funny
bow,
joke.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, he wouldn't ask me seriously. Like he would find that weird. But
right.
yeah, that was funny. That was a good combo.
Yeah, but would you?
I really got to think about this because I'll submit to my man, but like bowing?
Yes, bowing.
I know, I get it. I don't know. I'm torn. Like, I'm not trolling. Can you come back or can I just like?
It's really deep. He's got to think about it.
Wait, what did you say?
Because I'll make him a sandwich. Said it, you know.
Would you bow when
Bow
you
while
handed
you're
to him?
making.
You are kind of bowing when you're making a sandwich. It's a long bow.
I mean, if you're at the table
Especially
and
if
I'm
it's a
serving
bow.
him, I mean, yeah, I'm bending over to serve him at the table to get everything. So count that, yeah, count that.
No, he specifically wants a bow.
At the door with the slippers.
I'll bring his slippers to the door. I'm not bowing at the door, but I'll totally bring his slippers to the door.
Will you
But
put the
I
slippers
thought you
on
were
him?
submissive. I thought you were submissive.
I know, but I'm not a slave. Like that's when the
Why would
things
that
start
make you a
getting
slave?
complicated. Like
Why would that
what?
make you a slave?
I also just don't like feet.
Wait, what?
I don't like feet. My man
does
knows.
that
Like
have
we
to do
we
with
talk
it?
about this all the
Hilarious.
time.
What does that have to
I
do
don't
with the
wanna touch
bow?
his feet. No, he said
Or
put his slippers on his
slippers,
feet.
yeah.
That's why.
Okay, just stick to this. Okay.
You don't touch your man's
the
feet?
bow. For guys.
Sorry.
Y'all are all over the place.
That's a great moment.
Get the feet shit out of here. Forget the feet shit. Would you hit the bow?
You said boyfriend, so I would definitely say absolutely not.
Not,
Yeah.
My
not to the
husband,
boyfriend.
yes, but
Husband,
I mean,
yes.
But then you
Well,
have
you're
to
in a
ask why is he
relationship, right?
asking that?
Right.
He wants a demonstration of respect. Because he feels like he hasn't been getting it from you lately. What have you done for
My
him
husband would
lately?
never ask that.
Right,
though.
mine
That, like,
either.
that's,
Right.
yeah.
But what if he
hold
did?
on. Question for you. If you didn't have breakfast this morning, how would you feel?
Me?
Huh?
Me?
Yeah.
If I didn't have breakfast this
How would
morning?
you feel? Yeah.
If I didn't have breakfast this morning, how would I feel?
Do you want me to repeat it again? Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering why you're asking that question.
Just answer the question.
She hasn't been online.
I'd probably feel hungry.
Okay, we'll accept it. It's to test if you can engage with a hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if you were to say, but I did have breakfast this morning, it means you can't engage with a
Okay.
Okay, but so
yeah.
So I get that your boyfriend or wait, no, you're married, right? Yeah. I get your husband, he would never ask this. But like if he did, would you?
I would probably laugh and do it.
Right. That would be more of the
Because
response.
he would probably
Okay.
be asking
Yeah.
because he's trying to be
Alright.
funny or something. I don't know.
What about you?
Oh, I'm like, okay, because I'm like a little, I like jokey jokes. I feel like if he said that and laughed, I would do it.
Yeah.
But if he was being so serious, looked me in my eye and was like, I need you to bow,
I would still laugh.
no, thank you.
Wait, I have a follow-up question for you. Back when you were role-playing as a man,
Let's hop back in.
if you asked your girlfriend at the time to bow for you, and you said it in a low voice like you used to do,
Like low,
like, hey, would she do it?
The type of woman that she was, it was almost the same thing. Like she would do it, would laugh, but she wouldn't take offense. She would do it and laugh. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think the way you ask is
Yeah.
really
The way I
Deliveries are
Yeah, not you
Tell us
specifically.
how
I mean,
you would
like,
ask.
The way he would ask. Like, if you,
I'd show her the video.
off
This
the
is
video?
what I want.
Okay.
Wait,
Do that.
so my man showed me the video and was like, do this? No, thank you.
Look, I think it's a playful thing, especially in the context of like a more like a Western culture. I don't think you'd well, it could be a serious thing, but
because some of those things, like, you know, I mean, we're Latino women. We were raised like you feed your man when he comes home, like all of that. So in reality, like we do that, just not as frantically, but
Yeah.
you know, we serve him when
I
he
think the
comes in.
frantic adds.
But if he needs a physical sign of your submission, doesn't that mean he's like super low IQ and
Yeah.
can't see the other things that you're doing and offering to him? I mean, if you're making him food and he's like,
What would be
that's
an
not
example?
enough. Of what?
You said a
Like being
sign of your submission. Like what would be an example?
well, like if he were to make a decision and you maybe
Yeah.
disagreed with it, then the woman would yield to that and say, you know, I may disagree, but I respect your headship of the house and I'm going to allow you, you know, or not allow you, that's so bad, but like I'm going to yield to your leadership here.
But the idea here is that the bow is completely pointless, really. Like it doesn't serve any purpose, but she's willing to do it regardless.
Yeah. I'd be willing to, curtsy because it's a lot more feminine to
curtsy.
do that. But I don't know. It's kind of silly. I just
Wait,
do it
I have
as
a question.
joke. Yeah.
What if every time, not that there's a lot of times this happens, but like every time you did yield to him where you kind of disagreed and you yielded anyway, if only at that point did you do a curtsy? Like only in that instance, every time. Like
Would
it was like
I do
a
it?
custom. It was like a tradition in the home where it was like, okay, I don't agree with you. I'm yielding. You're the man of the house. I gave you my opinion, but you're the leader. And then you go.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Right.
For sure. I would also totally do it at the front of the door if he came home, you know?
Because it brings up a bigger question just about general cultural traditions that America really has none. You know, we have fast food and consumerism is our new tradition. But when you look at, I think the bowing thing is becomes so contentious is because, especially I think in the West, you associate it with worship. And it makes sense because every visual you've ever seen of bowing means worship, but bowing could mean veneration, respect, and it's just interesting to watch people generally in this generation. They have like a visceral reaction to it. You had a
Which is
visceral
why-
reaction
because it's like you almost like a trauma response. You tap back into
Trauma.
those old feminine ways, like those old feminine mindset. I don't mean like technical. I'm saying like the knee-jerk reaction rather would be yeah.
It's like, don't tell me.
Similar to her trauma response.
That's what you're saying.
I'm saying it's similar to her trauma response. The way she responds, that would be like my knee-jerk reaction to like what? Because you associate that with like slavery and all these like horrible things. But I'm saying what you would normally associate with it because of the way society pushes you to think and pushes you in this box. But if it's coming from like a just the more like respectful or whatever way you just put it, that would make more sense to me. Like yeah.
Okay, so just a recap here, show of hands. Who will do the bow? Who won't? Show of hands if you will do the bow. Yes.
I guess that no.
So wait, no.
If it's a boyfriend, no.
Okay, so for those of you who said no, wait, sorry, if it what?
You said boyfriend.
Yeah, boyfriend.
Okay.
Oh, that's an interesting. Okay, well, I can go that route.
Bees in the
you
chat
said
if you're gonna bow.
boyfriend.
Bees in the chat.
So you've
And I will say, in reality, like, because I've been married for a while, most men, when they get home, they want food. So they're not going to ask for you to bow to them.
Right.
You're going to want to have food for them when they get home from a long day at work.
so like for example,
So-
she's been in a relationship for 3 years. You think yes to the husband, but no if it's a boyfriend?
Well, I've never dated that long. Like, my husband is the longest man I've dated, so I don't know her
Well,
situation.
would you do it for your husband or no?
Yeah, probably, but he would
Probably.
he wouldn't ask that, but I would
Right.
laugh and do it.
Right.
She'd laugh and do it. Okay.
I would think he was being funny.
So those of you who said no to the bow, those of you, do you want a man to open your car door? Like say he's picking you up for a date. Do you want him to open the car door for you?
Can I say something? I would want him to want to open the car door for me. Does that make sense? Like, if he feels pressured that he has to open the car door, then I don't want him to open the car door for me. But I would want him to want to do that.
So okay, that's a yes. What about you?
I honestly don't care if he opens the car door for me. I know that
Sure.
can raise some eyebrows, but it doesn't bother me.
What about you?
I mean, I would like it. It would be nice, but it's not a make or break.
Or-
And
wait, are you yes on the bow? Or were you a no?
Partial
She
yes.
said she
I
didn't
think
know.
now I am.
It was no.
Only for my man though.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you want a guy to do like those gestures, open the car door for you?
I don't care about this.
You don't care? Okay.
Yeah, definitely yes.
Yes, you want it? What about you?
50-50.
Okay. You half want it.
It's not like a requirement.
Okay. How about this? Walking down the sidewalk.
The man walks that's
You
on
want
the side of the
you
street.
want the man to be walking closer to where the cars are. Do you want
Always.
that? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want that? Or maybe I don't know if this is a thing in China. I don't
Maybe
know.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you understand?
I didn't hear.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if this is something that is the case in China, but it is considered a nice gesture or chivalry when walking. Say there's the street with cars, you're walking down the sidewalk. The man would be closer to the road.
I don't.
Don't care. Okay, you guys over here,
Yeah, it's not make or break, but I would like it.
you'd like it. Okay.
My husband did.
Oh wait, actually, I'm sorry. I was still thinking about the car door. My man never lets me walk on the side of the cars. By the way, he never. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You got me. Okay, that one, yes, I want that.
Especially in New York, because people like abduct people in the street. So many crazy
Yeah.
things happen.
abduction.
They punch you in
No,
the
not.
face.
Oh my God! Don't roll your eyes because in New York,
It's a thing.
that thing is very common. You maybe not out here, but
Have you
too
been
many
ab-
things happen.
have
in
you
the
been
sidewalk.
abducted?
It doesn't even have to be abducted. A car could run onto the sidewalk, which happens all the time in New York City. Like anything could happen. So my man always walks on the side of the street.
Okay, and then final question. Let's see. Open doors. What about like paying for first dates? You want a guy to pay for first dates?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, one more. I'll do one more. Do you think should a man be willing? Should your boyfriend be willing to, boyfriend or husband, willing to take a bullet for you?
I
Your
think
answer?
you should be willing to take a bullet for each other.
Okay.
The same to each other.
Each other. Okay.
If he's not, you're with the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that sacrificial love, so in protection. So yes.
Yeah, same. 100%.
Okay, so I ask all these questions because, especially the walking closer to the street one, y'all won't do a bow, but you want a guy to put himself in danger. You want a guy to potentially be closer, so in the event of a car, he gets run over and paralyzed, but you won't hit a bow? I'm sorry. The expectation on me as a man is you have to be willing to die for me. You better hit a bow. Like, that's crazy, you know?
That's why I kind of changed my mind, because when you put it into perspective, it is really like a small ask for like such a.
Oh, it's so small.
Yeah.
It's so small.
I went to musical theater school. We bowed all the time to like
go.
people that hate us. That are like
As long as he's like
judging us.
floor, I mean, that's different.
But the pushback, though, on the like, well, maybe for your husband, but boyfriends, but it's like, well, you would have expectations even maybe on a first date. You want the guy to pay for the first date. You'd want him to maybe open your car door. You'd still, even on the first date, want him to walk closer to the road.
So you're talking about more like honor, in a sense,
Honor.
like I mean, that's what I see.
Chivalry,
kind of,
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's like an obligation in a
'Cause you're-
sense for a
yeah.
man to protect the woman, and if that's embedded in them, they're not going to have a problem. But Brian makes a good point. Like you said, you want someone to pay for your first date, right? So what kind of date would it have to be for him, in exchange for paying, just ask you to bow after the dinner to him? After he signs the check, he's like, oh, big tip too. Would you bow for an expensive dinner?
No, because I can buy my own expensive dinner.
Oh, so then,
Wow.
okay, so, but the reason you want him to pay for the first dinner is why?
I just think it's more traditional. I mean, I guess.
Like you like the tradition of that? Like that it's like the man is taking the lead?
I used to not. I used to pay for my own, but I actually did change my mind on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not feminist, but I'm right in the middle of all these topics.
Yeah.
I'm very independent, and I think in my story.
Are you an independent boss babe?
I am. Yeah.
You seem like you're in, I don't mean this like insulting, that you're like in a survivor kind of mode person.
Yep.
Where you're like, I'm not going to expect anything from a man based on everything that I know from your experience.
Yep.
And so why not train myself to exist without that? And if I get into the situation, case in point, you haven't been dating for a long time or whatever. If you get into the situation, you might become sort of dependent on the man and resort back to that traditional thing and maybe get like burned from it. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So that you're like this built-up armor chick, and then like if you get into a situation where, let's say, you fall in love with a man and it ends up being a sort of traditional setting and you end up liking it, you're gonna fight it all the way, right?
Yeah, this is interesting you bring this up. I just had this conversation this morning. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like the guy that I was with for 3 years, we lived together. When we split up, he took care of everything. I was going to school, he was paying for everything. He ended up cheating. When I found out, I left, but I was homeless. I didn't have my own money. I made a vow from that point forward I would never depend on a man, and I never have. I've never depended on anybody. Parents, nothing. I'm completely self-made. So, when we're talking about bowing, I think a lot of times with modern dating, a lot of men have taken on a feminine role. So if we're talking about the Bible and marriage, there's different types of marriages, like you said, and you spoke it well. So if a man is to protect and provide, and he is serving God, that's different. I'm not coming home to bow to you when I made just as much money or more money at my job.
No, I mean, that's fair enough point. If there's no context for the hierarchy, like if it's not reflective of something, you're just getting sort of like a tough guy red pillar, not to throw shade at red pillars, but they're descriptively right about the situation. It's just that the expectation for men who want to be this masculine role, but they don't actually have a foundation for their tradition, then why would you
And a lot
submit
of
anyway?
Wait,
So-
I actually have to push back on this though. So I mean, you're saying, okay, well, if the guy, you guys are making the same amount, why would you submit? Even if you're making the same amount, though, you're going to have one directional. Traditional expectations of him regardless of the amount that's made. So for example, you probably want a guy who's a leader, who takes initiative, and who will protect you. And so a guy can do all of these even if you guys are making the same amount of money, or even if you are making more than him.
Isn't that kind of like when it comes to men, like masculine men, isn't that naturally what they want to do anyways?
Yeah.
Just like females, they naturally want to do certain things. Don't men naturally
Well,
want
it's
to do
the
that?
whether they want to or not. Brian's saying, and I think just to get clarity on you, are you saying you don't expect men to do anything for you?
I'm a little bit of a different case. The only relationships I've been in were not good ones. So I've never been with a great man that was a leader that I could trust, that I felt safe with. That's not my story.
Right.
So, you know, and especially I just had my 40th birthday, so I'm thinking a lot about these things. Like, the kid thing, obviously I'm running out of time. I don't want a kid for the sake of having a kid, but I could, if I found the right man that I'd want to have a family with, but my experiences with men are very negative. So I automatically have trauma responses come out.
What's the likelihood that the right man who wants to settle down and has want to have kids with you holds a traditional system of thinking and will expect that played out in the relationship?
What are the chances that that's the kind of man that would choose me?
Not choose you, but
What do you
like
mean?
if there was a man out there who is likely going to want children and a family, isn't it more likely that they're going to hold a traditional mindset,
Yeah.
right? So that's why
Yes.
Brian's asking, like, you pick and choose where you want the tradition to come in, like chivalry and paying for dinner, and we're asking, well, what's the trade-off if you're not, what's equal to that for the woman?
I get what you're saying.
From that view.
So, just recently, I went on a few dates with a Nigerian man, and very traditional. But his idea,
Do you know the way?
Sorry, go ahead.
his
You're like, it sounds just like him. You're like,
Do you know the way?
So I think the problem is a lot of men mistake tradition with power, and they mistake money for power. So a lot of times men will, if they're taking care of you financially or whatever, like this was a conversation I had on the date with him, that I would never have to do anything. He would take care of everything. But if I wanted to go out with my friends on a Friday night and he said he didn't want me to, that I just can't go and I can't ask him questions. I'm not the type to be controlled.
W. Good for him. Controlled? Why is it controlling?
Because you're telling me what to do.
And you're not married to him.
So?
Not for me.
There's no commitment.
What?
Even if there,
Hold on, people-
even if
people
there
are-
is.
There's no marriage commitment or contract.
Well, yeah,
so,
obviously, if you're not married,
you know,
there's no marriage commitment.
Right. Well,
but you
there's
can
no-
still be committed to somebody and be in a relationship with them.
What?
Yeah.
Well, coming from a Christian standpoint, there is no commitment.
Okay,
with
so
her
just to be clear,
situation.
you said you've been married for 18 years? Mm-hmm. Okay, and how long were you, before you got married, how long were you dating him?
2 years.
Okay,
We dated
so just
2
to be
years
clear,
total, so
if
we
you
dated for a
if you
year.
slept with somebody else during that 2-year period, it wouldn't have been cheating because there wasn't commitment?
No, it would have been.
But I thought that, hold on, but you just said there can't be commitment absent marriage.
Well, you were speaking of her situation. She was not married to, right? You weren't married to him.
But, so?
Well, marriage between a man and a woman, and that's a commitment. That's what I was referring to. And so, if she's not committed to her partner, then it's it's almost like confusing, you know, and like she's her own person in a sense. So.
Oh, okay. So like anybody who's in a relationship but they're not married, they can just sleep with other people then.
That's pretty much what they do.
But
isn't
there's
it?
also a difference
People
between.
are-
Even do when they're
Hold on,
married.
people are in relationships all the time, and they're
No, that's not happening. No, but there's also a difference between being in a relationship and dating, while like courting somebody. Like in that situation where you're saying, you know, you go out on a date with the guy, or whatever. He's courting you. He's showing you the value that you would have as his wife. He's showing you like in other ways, like that he will take care of you. Like these are. You make the face, but these are traditional things.